Welcome to Monday Night Men's Talk. Thank you for joining us. We have Shane and we have Neil, and we're just going to have some real talk. Fruit of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self control. Which fruit do you describe yourself having the most of?
Probably gentleness. I, you know, I'm pretty, I don't know how to explain it. I very much believe in letting people be, letting people believe in what they believe in, letting people, support what they support, and respecting that everybody has the right to be that. Everybody has their own belief system, has their own different way of believing even the same thing. We can be three men sitting at a table and each one of us believes in something differently, not because we're not reading from the same book or the same Bible, but we each perceive life and perceive incidences differently.
I would say kindness. I'm a pretty nice guy, I do other people the way I'd want to be done, the golden rule. And, just strangers, hold the door open for a lady, those kind of things. It's just something in my heart that, I'm not doing it to try to, get any favor. It's just, it's nice to do. And I'm always thinking, what can I do with the kids? They're not, it's getting darker outside. Maybe I'll pick them up early and take them to the park because so just kind of thinking of ways to be kind to others.
Which are the fruit that you least
Mhm.
exhibit or you have trouble with?
Oh, I'm ADHD, so patience. Patience is my number one. I am very kind to people. Like Neil said, I have a caring heart, but when it comes to patience, it is super thin. I, it's just me. I've said it before, you have to be aware of what situations you have least patience in. And usually the best people to hear it from are the people around you. You have to be willing to listen to what other people say because sometimes you don't realize you're being impatient because as ADHD, you just go, go, go. So sometimes being impatient doesn't, you're not aware or cognizant of it. So when other people are like, wow, you're kind of rushed, that might be a polite way of them saying calm down.
I would also say patience. I've been working on that and am getting better. I know God's in control, and I find that the more impatient I am, it's like waiting for water to boil, and it's not going to make the water boil any quicker. And but I think my problem is I can be patient, but my mouth kind of gives me away. Like your stomach growls when you're hungry. When I'm being patient, and I believe that I'm being patient to a reasonable degree, and it gets a little over, then my mouth starts to growl like my stomach, and I don't mean to be disrespectful, but I can't wait any longer, and I become vocal, but I'm still being patient. I'm not doing anything, but I got to work on control. Because if I could control my mouth, then I would be even better with patience.
How can self control be beneficial in your life?
Oh, uh, well, it'll go towards patience. If I have more control over my urges and my speed, sometimes I'll just like talk, talk, talk. You know, having self control will kind of mitigate a lot of the other things that you struggle with.
Self control can keep me out of the doghouse. um, I I used to think that I needed to stay in a environment where I was going to be in a conflict, and just recently I realized if I just remove myself from the equation, then the conflict can end. And so I find myself for self control purposes, I have to walk away and actually physically leave, which I thought was never an option to do until I did it one day. And then, that was probably the smartest thing I could do because you don't want to be yelling. You got kids, you have to be respectful, but sometimes, you're fighting over the silliest little things that, are not, and and what ends up happening is the self control part. And if you don't do the self control, so my self-control is to get away from a argument that I'm definitely not going to win. If I win it, I lose it. If I lose it, I lose it. So either way, I'm in trouble. So I just remove, and that's how I deal with the self-control. But it's really difficult, especially with small children. They test you, and you tell them, and you end up, learning what not to do, and then just getting better at it. But you have patience, but there's only so much patience that you can have before you reach a boiling point. And the best thing to do is probably just take a minute to walk away and think of how you're going to react to it. Because once you react, there's no unreacting.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. That was a great lesson for all of us on the fruit of the Spirit. And so we want to leave you with this awesome Bible verse for men. As iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens one another.
God loves you, and so do we.